Welcome back to the Channel 13 News at noon. From 1957 to 1987, Dwayne Elliott and his sidekick puppet Floppy entertained guests right here on WHO-TV. In less than a week, you can reminisce about the Floppy show and see the star once again. Joining us this afternoon to talk a little bit more about the Floppy Film Festival that's going on, probably while your kids are off on Christmas break, is Dr. Jeff Stein. Jeff, thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us and talking about the festival. Why do the festival end of the year like this? It's a nice little trip down memory lane, but
Sure.
What's the historical museum doing?
Well, for people who grew up in the 50s into the 80s, Dwayne Elliott and Floppy were the kings of late afternoon television. There were other shows, but for some reason, Dwayne and Floppy struck a responsive chord with the audience. They were on at midday as part of the noon news. They were on late afternoon. And the interaction, not only between Dwayne and Floppy, but then between Floppy and the children, it was something that was just really unique. The kid shows of that era. Before we had the computers, before we had video games, before we had the internet, a much simpler time. And it was really a genuine piece of Iowa broadcasting history. And that's the reason there are so many people who want to relive that time.
Tell me about the film festival. It really is gonna be just a little bit of a brief history of the show and seeing some of the highlights of the show, right?
It's not simply a greatest hits, Patrick, but what we've done is we've taken some representative clips, some of the segments that really typify what Dwayne did over those 30 years. We've also put some clips of him being interviewed as he tells how Floppy came to be. And what we're hoping is that those who remember the show here on TV 13 have the ability to get those memories conjured up and maybe bring their kids and see if this does translate to another generation.
I asked you about that. What do you think the reaction of kids is gonna be? You know, you said kids are able to use a computer before they're able to write their name these days, and that is a pretty good assessment of it. What do you think kids' reaction is gonna be?
I don't know. I do know that some of my friends who have children have shown clips of Floppy. And I think among a certain audience, it still resonates, it still connects. Sure, kids are much more sophisticated now and we all expect many more whiz-bang things, but there's something so genuine about what Dwayne Elliott did with Floppy and interacting with the kids. I have a sense that it is still going to translate even in the year 2009.
Now, there are a lot of people who are still fans of Floppy. In fact, there's a Floppy Facebook group, is that correct?
There's a Floppy Facebook group, and this is what's staggering. The show's been off the air now for 22 years, and there are more than 10,000 friends, members of the Facebook group, and they're looking forward to this event and the chance to buy a DVD, a Floppy t-shirt, and all the rest.
And that's a rare chance, right? I mean, this image is not sold very often.
Dwayne Elliott's family has been very respectful of what their father created, and Dwayne owns the right to Floppy. There have been no legitimate Floppy t-shirts in more than a decade, but the family has graciously allowed us to reproduce what you see on the screen, the original Floppy t-shirt, with the proceeds to benefit not only the Archives of Iowa Broadcasting, but also the State Historical Society. And you can call the Historical Society now, actually, and buy the t-shirt and have it as a Christmas gift and maybe even wear it to the festival on the 29th and 30th.
What a great gift and what a great trip down memory lane for Christmas or for the holidays. Let's give people some information about the film festival. The 29th and 30th at the State Historical Building, there will be 2 showings on the first day, correct, and just one on the second. Admission $5, and you can, as Jeff said, call the State Historical Building for more information or to get one of those t-shirts. Proceeds to benefit the Broadcast Archives and the State Historical Society. Thank you so much, Jeff, for spending a couple of minutes with us. Good luck with the festival.
Thanks so much. It's been a pleasure doing this, and I appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. We will be back in 2 minutes.